It's Kevin with Gone Rogue Games. It is a sad day at Gone Rogue Games today. It's Commander Night, the same day that we just had the ban announcement where Wizards of the Coast, I guess not Wizards of the Coast, the Commander Committee targeted 4 expensive cards, well 3 expensive cards from the Commander format. So we're gonna go and check the overall mood in Commander Night to see how these guys are dealing with the news. So let's see what they're up to.
Why are you attacking your buddy? The faster that he goes away, you have to actually swing into it.
I'm sorry.
I'm just gonna start.
So how many people are quitting Commander now that Jewel Lotus is banned?
Parker?
Just Parker? He rage quit?
Everyone's all pissed off.
Everyone's all pissed off?
It's funny. I'm not pissed.
It's funny, but it's sad that he...
It's sad.
Yeah, Parker, he was
so
a pissed
funny.
off.
Yeah, it's sad, but it's so funny.
So the poors are happy, the rich people are sad. That's the sentiment?
I'd feel different if I owned one, but I don't, and I don't care.
So yeah, so since you don't own one, you don't care, but if you did, you would care.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Commander, Kevin, everybody who plays fucking Seed.
I'm 13.
Yeah, probably.
Every single one is quitting.
That might be my
Their format is
I
really...
don't know no
You know who's quitting Commander? This guy. Actually, I have quit Commander in a long time because something much better exists, which I'm going to announce here. And hopefully we can get some people into it. A couple of guys back there will play, but vast majority of them won't. We have something called Commander League here at the store, which hopefully I can get some people to get into because it's quite fun. And I'm going to be trying to incentivize the pot a bit here of this and to try to get it going. So let me go find a table here and I will go and open this sucker up and I'll try to explain what's going on. Zach's in my way, of course. There's Zach. Say hello, Zach.
Hi, Zach.
Zach is also pissed today. Why are you pissed today?
Why am I pissed?
I thought you were pissed at something today. Oh, his head hurts because he ran into a cabinet and he's got a goose egg on his head. Show your goose egg.
It's not that bad.
It's not bad now. This one looks like it's
I
going
know, I'm
down.
taking some
And he's in. Okay, maybe I can open up here. I had like a peanut gallery and I didn't want to open it in front of everyone here. So okay. So we're gonna explain Commander. I guess Zach can. Yeah, you can film. Here you go. Here you go, Zach.
I can film.
You can film this. So, what we are doing for Commander League, which I've explained on this channel before, I think I've explained more on Rogue Deck Builder, is we are going to start giving out all the promos that WotC sends us for F&M, leagues. I just want to incentivize anything but Commander. And this is just a personal decision. We'll still give out, if there are Commander-specific things for like Commander days and stuff, we'll give them out for Commander. But we really want to get limited going. Zach and I are just limited players. I guess just deal with it. Tough, it's our store, right? So we really want to get Commander League going. There's Onyx that's going in the back door because he thinks he owns the place.
Well, if you leave it locked.
Bring in your decks, Onyx.
And you can see we're kind of crazy busy here. So anyway, so how Commander League works is you open up an entire set booster box of Dustborn. Play booster, I'm still in the mentality of saying set booster. Play booster, and it actually, you get like a perfect amount of cards. What I like doing that is you basically get all the uncommons and commons. So you have the full set to work with uncommon and commons, and you are still limited with what rares you can play with, and you get to experience the mechanics of the set. You really get to a full dose of playing with the cards that are meant to be played together. No mana crypts, no soul rings, no dockside extortionists, no smothering ties. Yeah, eventually people can open it. We'll get to that in a second. But at first it's like you really have to utilize some bad cards. So, I don't know, oftentimes you can actually build more than one Commander deck, and I'll probably do that, except my Commander I chose was the 5-color one. Because it seemed, yes, because it seems pretty fun to play the Marwyn. I don't know how, there we go. So, or what's her name? Marina Vrendrel. So this is the one that works with the locks or unlocks. So I'll have to show basically the deck tech of this sometime, but you actually end up having to cut playable cards is what I consider. And again, you have to change your mentality of what is a playable and what's not playable card. So you're playing a lot of like versatile removal in this format. You're playing a lot of cards that draw. Of course, you're playing anything that fixes with lands or ramps. And you actually do get quite a bit in the play booster to actually make it viable. So another thing we do is any limited event you play in, you can add to your card pool for your commander deck. And so it keeps new cards coming in, it incentivizes people playing in drafts, and eventually, I wish we don't have one printed off right now of our little sheet, do we? For the
No, I
Commander
was gonna
League.
print 'em
So
off.
Commander League, how we do it, and if you can do this at your own store in a play group, is how you add new packs. So first of all, I'm going to open up an entire case of Commander decks. And so whenever you hit 10 win points, so what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of all the commons. Are we going to keep the commons and uncommons in here? Or just do rares in here? Because I know that, yeah, but it's like rampant growths and stuff. Or maybe, okay, maybe we'll do 2 piles. So we'll do. So it'll taper every 10 points. So the first 10 point you get a rare mythic, and then the second 10 points you get a common or uncommon. Then a rare mythic, then a common or uncommon. We can do something like that, or maybe we'll do some other. Well, anyway, there's different tiers, and every time you lose three
Games.
well, it's not games, it's 3 points, and we'll explain the point system in a second. And maybe we'll do 9, so every 9 points you get a promo, because that's, well, I don't know. Anyway, so every 3 loss points, you can actually add a pack. So if you're losing a lot, you'll actually end up being able to get more cards for your packs. And what we kind of like about Commander League is, yes, we start with Dustboard, but as soon as you can start adding packs, and once per week you can also add a pack, you can go wherever you want in Magic. So you can go into collector's boosters, you can go into theme boosters, you can go into anything, Jumpstart, anything like that to get it going. So we will take this back. We're getting busy up here at the front. So anyway, we'll open this up, and it'll actually have some interesting cards here. Sorry, we got people, of course, trying to record a video up there, and then people, of course, want to come in. We don't know if they want help or if they just want to watch me record a video. So anyway, we'll come back when it's a little bit quieter here. So anyway, it just makes for a very interesting and fun format. We've done this in the past, and then we lost our, the problem with Richfield is people, once they graduate from high school, there's no jobs here, so they move. So we lose a lot of players. Fortunately, some of them have moved back, which is awesome. So we actually are starting to get back a pretty decent little play group. But we've had a lot of fun with Commander Leagues in the past. And it just makes, I actually do not hate the Commander format in theory. My problem with Commander, as I've stated on this channel and my Rogue Deck Builder channel, is the power level has just gotten insane. And that's why I'm kind of bittersweet, and I'll talk more about the Commander bans on my Rogue Deck Builder channel for Market Monday. But I think there should be 30 cards axed in Commander. There are a lot of cards that are just too broken and lead to terrible interactions, and things like Rhystic Study and Smothering Tithe, I think, just slow down the game and make it a headache. And it's like these cards were supposedly balanced for 1 versus 1. They become incredibly unbalanced in multiplayer formats. And again, I think they lead to just miserable games because of the 1 or 2 of them is fine, but years and years and years of Wizards of the Coast printing overpowered cards in even standard sets specifically for Commander has made the format at a power level that is just not representative of what Commander was during its fun glory years, in my opinion. And I think that getting rid of cards like Mana Crypt and Dockside Extortionist are probably healthy for the overall gameplay, but what's that done is it set a precedent now that people can't trust Wizards of the Coast when they've just printed those in recent. The chase card in Lost Caverns of Ixalan was Mana Crypt. Now in Lost Caverns of Ixalan collector boosters, they just lost a huge, I mean, most have been open at this point, but I'm sure people have kept them sealed, but those suckers just lost a huge portion of their value of why people were opening them. And then seeing the Commander Masters was Jeweled Lotus that was just recently printed. When it was Dockside Extortion, it was just in another set, wasn't it? So it's just a bad precedent for people now to trust Wizards of the Coast that they're just going to print something and ban it. So I think there's going to be a lot of backlash, and I think that people, once a card like that enters in, it's much easier not to print cards or never to allow them into the format to begin with, and then have to retroactively ban them because it's always going to leave a bad taste in people's mouth. This isn't a 1 versus 1 competitive format where you have to keep the health of the game priority. In a 1 versus 1 format, you have to do bannings. In a multi-casual format, bannings are like last resort. They should be last resort because people have invested. We just had a person, that's why one of the players was crying about it because they've, said they've lost like $800 worth of because they had multiple cards in multiple decks. And there was another kid, I feel bad for him, he just barely saved up for a Jewel Lotus and he traded someone for it. He's been, building up cards and traded for a Jeweled Lotus and got to play it once before now it's banned. And it's just, again, when they print cards, they can't then just retroactively ban them in a format like Commander. It's just going to leave a horrible precedent. It's going to lead to people not wanting to buy expensive cards. I actually think Wizard of the Coast might be ticked off because this is a lot of equity, reprint equity, that they could have put in future sets. And I mean, all these cards were super expensive. And I kind of compare this to other when they, in my opinion, when they make games too easy. Like I always talk about like World of Warcraft when it went from hard mode to then they wanted to appeal the casuals in easy mode, and then everyone's like, this is too easy. But then they can't retroactively return it back to hard mode because everyone's so used to easy mode, and it's been now rebalanced with easy mode. The same thing I can say about Commander. I mean, these cards, Mana Crypt has been in this format. Their whole justification about Soul Ring, they can say the same thing for Mana Crypt. Mana Crypt has defined this format for so long. Anyone who could afford it bought it and put it in a deck. And that was one of the things that were keeping players from playing it, was just the sheer price of Mana Crypt. I actually think that those sort of things can be good for formats because it gives something for people to work towards. Like, this is going to be a fundamental disagreement that I have with a lot of players that think that game pieces just should be like incredibly accessible. This is a collectible card game. There needs to be something that people work towards or feel good about opening or feel like satisfied to. It's like buying a car. Like, you have to save up and save up and save up. Again, people can say, okay, Kevin, well, everyone should just be able to get a car, afford it. Yes, I agree. But I still don't think that a lot of these things are unreasonable to the average person to, if they really want this experience, to actually, afford, buying a Mana Crypt or some cards. So again, this is to be a fundamental disagreement I'm going to have with people with the whole game pieces versus collectibles. I think there should be a nice little balance between the two. However, Wizard of the Coast already drew that line. They already stated, they already made the Mana Crypt the chase card in Lost Caverns of Ixalan. They already reprinted the Jeweled Lotus in Commander Masters. And like I said, this precedent too is scary because I think that bannable cards are like 20 to 30 cards deep. What about like Gaia's Cradle? That thing's still legal in Commander, right? Isn't Gaia's Cradle still legal in Commander?
Yeah.
That's an old expensive card that is now can't be reprinted.
It's on the
so
reserve
why don't they exit? They're going to exit, right? They have to. They've set the precedent now for this. What about, like I said, Smothering Tithe? What about, what's the other red card that's super banned? What about Ragavan that goes in every deck? What about the One Ring? That's one that everyone is calling for. Like, the One Ring literally goes in every Commander deck, and it's expensive, and it's prohibiting to deck building. And it is, it gets a lot worse without Mana Crypt, because that's when people like to ramp into the One Ring super quick with Soul Rings and Mana Crypts. What about Mana Vault? Like, Mana Vault Probesk. What about Ancient Tomb? There are so many cards now in this category of fast mana. And what about Thassa's Oracle? Like, I actually think that those are the type of things they should hit. The cards that just make, win conditions too easy. And that's the things they used to hit. So fast mana used to be a part of like this whole, and that's what some commanders having a discussion with the commander players back there, is like, someone plays a Mana Crypt, you just all target them. Like, that's your you want to play this game, then everyone goes at him. Like, the first turn Soul Ring, you're the target. And so Commander is like this self-policing format. Again, this is where I think that Wizard of the Coast might need to rein in their rules committee, and they just need to all sit down and have to have a big heart-to-heart talk of what they want the Commander format to be and how they want it to go forward. My suggestion, and I'll have to get my thoughts together and kind of flesh out this idea a little more, is I think they should make tiers of ban list. So they should have like an anything goes format with just the most egregious cards that should be banned to just make gameplay miserable. Like some of the lockout cards, some of those that they probably shouldn't exist. They just make games, and I'd put even Nadu in that category. That should be like the one, like that one target Nadu. Like, it's just a very like I said, egregious card. However, after that, then they should have these tiers of these like suggested power levels. So they should have like a power level 8 that is for CEDH, and be like, okay, everything here, we're going to have some ban lists for cards that we think are just too powerful for this competitive format. And then they should have another one. Then they should have one like a tier 6 or a power level 6 or a power level 7. And then they should have suggested bans for that level. Or what I've suggested in the past is they should have a point system. You're only allowed to put 100 points worth of restricted cards in your deck. And there you go. Mana Crypt is a 50-point card or a 20-point card. And then people have to choose how many of these things they can put in. Thassa's Oracle is a 50-point card. Like, that's the whole thing. So if they want to be running these specific high-powered cards, then they have to only choose between a handful of them that they can put in. At that point, they could put Primeval Titan back in the, I mean, at this point, like Sundering Titan, Primeval Titan, all those cards don't even seem that broken in the scope of things of what's been printed. Anyway, I digress. I kind of got off what I was saying. So, Commander League, we'll have to check back in and see how it's going. I've convinced a few people to play. Again, we're going to really incentivize it by opening up an entire, it's free to join. If you are a store, I highly suggest doing this format. Now that I'm not being distracted, I can talk a little bit more about how we do it. So how it works is usually from set to set is you open up the latest play booster box, you build a commander deck of what you get from that play booster, and then every week you're allowed to add a pack from any of Magic's history to add to your pool of cards. And people usually go into like Commander Masters if they can afford it. We've had people buy like a collector's booster of Ultimate Masters, for example, if they really want to be high rollers to try to get some broken cards. But at first, the power level stays quite low, and then people start to find synergies. And what I really like about Commander League is you find synergies that would never happen in a regular Commander deck. You start to find some cool interactions and combos that were definitely printed there for the set, for this Duskmorn flavor. They would never be found in like outside of draft or limited, but then they're never really experienced in a commander type environment. And then to add more of those mechanics to the pool, that's how we add these cards. Since you can't get cards out of play boosters from commander like you used to be able to from set, right? I don't think they put them in play anymore. The only way is to get them as collectors and commander. We'll be opening these, and that will add some to the pool, and every 10 win points. So how it works at a table, if you're the last one, if you're the winner, you get a point for each opponent that lost before you. So if it's a 5-pod, you'll get 4 points. If it's a 4-pod, you get 3 points. And then the opposite is we have a point system for wins and losses. And so if you're the first person out, you count how many opponents are still remaining, and that's how many lost points you get. So if you're in a 4-pod and you lose first, you get 3 lost points. You're allowed to buy a pack every 3 losses. And so I like this, is it makes losing actually feel good because you're excited about what you could add to your pool. And if you're a store, this is where you get your profit margins back, is you can just sell packs at normal price. So we allow people to get in at cost for play boosters. So I think my cost for play boosters is like $125. So a person can enter at $125. They will be getting a weekly promo for free, just for playing. They will be getting cards every time they hit their 10 points tiki marks for wins. And it just leads to a lot of people buying things, of course, buying sleeves, buying snacks, buying everything, and coming in and playing. And it still gives a kind of a more fair environment. You don't have to police your commander knights with like these power levels. You don't say, that was one of the things, like one of the guys, someone just, like I said, they obviously rage quit commander. They're used to playing these high powered cards and now they can't play it. They feel jaded. This removes all of that. Everyone starts at an even playing field. Yes, some people can open up some more broken cards, but you start losing more, you get to add more stuff. And again, it's just excited. I've never seen people so excited to lose because of being able to add packs. So anyway, we'll keep you updated on Commander League and some of the fun things that at stores. I hope your stores are very creative with formats, because one of the worst problems with Magic is how redundant Standard can get and how redundant now Commander can get. And that's been my whole problem. I've been kind of bitter, of you seen over the years, because I just don't, it's hard to get people to play Limited. Zach and I are definitely Limited players. I love Limited, but Limited is also too short. You play your pre-release. I had this awesome pre-release where I got the dude that make Balloon, the tokens, copies things. I had some cool combos with it. And like the 2/5 that brings back an enchantment every time it ETBs, and so I'm like, oh man, I'm in a value grind with this, and never saw the Balloon Man in all 4 matches, and it was just sad because I was able to construct this deck and never get to play it. So that's why I love leagues, because leagues is you get the perfect amount of playing a new set. By the time a league's over, you're ready for a new set, and you've a lot of play out of what you've purchased. And I mean, it is a high entry point. We do allow people to split boxes. So if there's you and a friend want to split a box for $125, there's usually enough cards in there to build 2 commander decks out of a box if people just choose commanders of different color combinations. And yeah, it's just a really, really fun environment. So I'll keep everyone up to date. This is kind of a different video on this channel. Not a lot else going on today. Like, we've been dealing with just we had someone come in and sell thousands of dollars worth of cards. Not sure if it has anything to do with the ban, but there's just like a somber mood with a lot of people in the Commander format. So keep everyone updated. I hope you everyone enjoyed this video. This has been Kevin with the Gonro Games. Thanks for watching.